Here is Grandpa's 45 plus old gardening hacks you'll wish you knew sooner. Practical, time-tested tricks that made his garden thrive without fancy tools or chemicals. Let's jump right in. 1. Use coffee grounds to enrich your soil. Grandpa never tossed his morning coffee grounds. Instead, he'd sprinkle them around the garden to enrich the soil. Coffee grounds are full of nitrogen, which plants love. They also improve drainage and attract earthworms, which aerate the soil. It's especially helpful for acid-loving plants like tomatoes, blueberries, and roses. Just be sure to mix them in lightly to avoid mold. It's free fertilizer with a boost of life. Second, plant by the moon. Grandpa swore by the lunar calendar for planting. He believed planting leafy crops during a waxing moon helped them grow stronger and faster. Root crops like carrots and potatoes, those went in during the waning moon. Whether or not you believe in moon magic, timing your planting with natural cycles can improve consistency. It's an old tradition backed by centuries of observation. A little rhythm from nature never hurts. 3. Reuse egg cartons as seed starters. Before seed trays were a thing, Grandpa used cardboard egg cartons. Each compartment made the perfect cradle for starting seeds indoors. He'd poke a hole in the bottom for drainage and fill them with soil. Once the seedlings grew strong, he'd snip apart the sections and plant them directly into the ground, carton and all. It's biodegradable, zero waste, and budget-friendly. Smart and sustainable, just how Grandpa liked it. 4. Use Epsom salt to boost growth. If plants looked yellow or tired, Grandpa reached for Epsom salt. Just a tablespoon in a watering can delivers magnesium and sulfur, 2 key nutrients for photosynthesis and strong roots. He used it on tomatoes, peppers, and even flowers. It also helps prevent blossom end rot in veggies. A monthly dose kept plants lush and green. Cheap, easy, and incredibly effective. 5. Turn a milk jug into a watering can. Why buy a watering can when you can make one? Grandpa took empty milk jugs, poked holes in the lid, and filled them with rainwater. The result was a gentle, controlled pour perfect for delicate seedlings. It saved money, reused plastic, and was always within reach. If it cracked, he made another. It's a DIY classic that never fails. 6. Use ashes from the fireplace to repel pests. After burning wood in the fireplace, Grandpa never tossed the ashes. Instead, he sprinkled them around garden beds to keep away slugs, snails, and soft-bodied insects. The ash dries them out and acts as a mild soil amendment too, especially for plants that like a bit of potassium. He just avoided using too much on acidic soil. It's an old-school remedy that works wonders in moderation. 7. Newspaper as weed barrier. Before weed fabric, there was newspaper. Grandpa would lay down sheets of old paper between garden rows and cover them with mulch. It blocked sunlight to weeds, but still allowed water to pass through. As it decomposed, the paper enriched the soil too. This simple method cut weeding time in half and made the beds look tidy. Plus, it gave a second life to the Sunday paper. 8. Hang pie tins to scare off birds. When birds got a little too curious, Grandpa didn't buy scarecrows. He hung old pie tins from string. The shiny metal reflected sunlight and made noise in the wind, scaring off birds without harm. He'd place them around berry bushes or newly seeded patches. It's a low-tech, high-effect solution that doesn't cost a dime. Sometimes the simplest methods are the most clever. 9. Let weeds tell you about your soil. Grandpa always said, "The weeds know what your soil is missing." If dandelions took over, he knew the soil was compacted. Lots of chickweed, too much nitrogen. By paying attention to which weeds showed up, he figured out what needed fixing. It saved him from unnecessary testing and helped him build better beds. Observing nature gave him all the clues he needed. 10. Collect rainwater in barrels. Grandpa believed in using what nature gives you. He set up barrels under the eaves to collect rainwater for the garden. It saved on water bills and was better for plants than treated tap water. He'd cover the barrels with mesh to keep out debris and mosquitoes. Rainwater collection was practical, eco-friendly, and a reliable backup during dry spells. A self-sufficient trick worth learning. 11th. Use crushed eggshells to deter slugs. Grandpa knew slugs hated sharp textures, so he crushed eggshells and sprinkled them around plants. The jagged pieces create a rough barrier that soft-bodied pests won't cross. Over time, the shells break down and add calcium to the soil. This is especially helpful for tomatoes and peppers, which need strong stems and healthy roots. Instead of using chemical pellets, he let breakfast waste do the work. It's natural pest control and plant food in one. 12th. Plant garlic between rows to repel bugs. Garlic isn't just for the kitchen, it's a garden defender. Grandpa planted cloves between rows of vegetables to keep aphids, beetles, and even rabbits away. Its strong scent masks other plant smells, confusing pests and protecting the garden. Plus, once mature, the garlic could be harvested and used in cooking. This trick saved his cabbage and carrots year after year. 13. Use wooden stakes and twine to keep rows straight. When Grandpa planted his crops, every row looked like it was drawn with a ruler. He'd hammer in 2 wooden stakes and stretch twine tight between them to guide his planting. It kept spacing even, which helped airflow and made weeding easier. This old-school method is still one of the best ways to keep a garden organized. Straight rows look nice and grow better too. 14. Add banana peels for a potassium boost. Before synthetic fertilizers, Grandpa turned to banana peels. He buried them near the roots of plants like tomatoes and roses. As they broke down, they released potassium, phosphorus, and calcium, critical nutrients for flowering and fruiting. It's a slow-release natural fertilizer that also helps build rich soil. Just chop the peel up first to help it decompose faster. 15. Use gravel in the bottom of pots for drainage. Good drainage was non-negotiable for Grandpa. When planting in containers, he always added a layer of gravel or broken clay pots to the bottom. This kept water from pooling around the roots, which helps prevent rot. He'd also make sure there were holes at the base for runoff. It's a classic container gardening trick that keeps plants healthy from the roots up. 16th. Plant beans with corn for mutual growth. Grandpa practiced companion planting long before it became trendy. He'd grow pole beans alongside corn, letting the beans climb the stalks. In return, the beans fixed nitrogen into the soil, feeding the corn. Sometimes he even added squash for ground cover, creating a Three Sisters bed. This method made the most of garden space while nurturing the soil naturally. 17. Compost kitchen scraps in a trench. When Grandpa didn't have time to maintain a compost pile, he dug trench compost. He'd dig a shallow trench between rows, dump in kitchen scraps like veggie peels, coffee grounds, and eggshells, and cover it with soil. Over time, it decomposed right in the ground, feeding nearby plants. No smell, no turning, and no need for bins. Just rich soil and happy crops. 18. Repurpose old tools into garden stakes. Grandpa wasn't one to waste a broken rake handle or broomstick. He turned them into garden stakes for tomatoes, peppers, or beans. Sometimes he'd even nail 2 together for extra height. With a bit of string, these makeshift supports worked just as well as store-bought ones. Durable, eco-friendly, and full of character, just like Grandpa. 19. Water plants. Early in the morning, timing was everything to Grandpa. He always watered his garden early in the morning when the sun was low. This gave plants time to absorb moisture before the heat hit, reducing evaporation. It also helped prevent fungal growth that can happen when leaves stay damp overnight. Morning watering was a peaceful ritual, and a smart one. 20. Save seed from the best plants. Each year, Grandpa would let his healthiest plants go to seed. He'd collect, dry, and store them in labeled envelopes for next season. This saved money and ensured he was planting hardy varieties that thrived in his soil. Over time, his garden became more productive, more resilient, and entirely homegrown. It's a lost art that deserves a comeback.